I am so sorry, says Shaw. Ignorance of data charges ran up finance minister's cell phone bill. It is unacceptable. Wholeness orders audit cap on cell phone bills for all ministers. Talk isn't cheap, Mr. Shaw. So peeps, if the person in your country who is supposed to be leading by example in fiscal discipline and money management has a cell phone bill of $8.34 million for a 12 months period, it is suggesting then that the country going forward is in a state of worry and there's cause for concern. The Minister of Finance, AUDLEY, racked up a cell phone bill of $8.34 million Jamaican dollars in a 12 months period. I talk about it with my circle. I soon forward. I must have in call. AUDLEY, his voice breaking with emotion and embarrassment, disclosed yesterday that he has paid $2,568,000 from his pocket and secured a discount of $1,019,000 from his cell phone service provider after news of his $8.34 million phone bill hit the airwave. Shaw, the finance minister, was speaking to Nationwide's Cliff Hughes yesterday, a day after RGR, using the Access to Information Act, reported his unusually high bill for the period April 2006 to March 2007. He said that the $3.57 million shaved off the bill represented some personal costs, while the rest was for the conduct of government business, which was collaborated by the Ministry of Finance in the information released to RGR. Shaw insisted, however, that had the limit placed on cell phones using during his first tenure as finance minister between 2007 and 2011 remained, bills for ministers and other government servants could no way have reached such high figures. Really, Mr. Shaw? Shaw said had the bills been brought to his attention before the Access to Information request, something would have been done about it. So I will have to wait until then. I regret this most unfortunate issue, and I took personal responsibility to seek a discount and to pay back a portion of the bill I was personally responsible for. Shaw told the talk show host yesterday, "I do profoundly regret what has happened," he added. At the same time, he noted that a large portion of the bills had charges for data while roaming, as he was unaware that the data service was not turned off while traveling. The personal portion related to use of his phone when his wife was in hospital for surgery. He said she is now doing well. Thank God. Well, thank God for that. But AUDLEY, come on, you're the finance minister. Do better. Stung by an $8 million cell phone bill run up by his finance minister over a 1 year period, Prime Minister Andrew Holness yesterday ordered an audit of the cell phone bills of all senior and junior ministers ahead of putting a cap on such bills. Holness, describing the situation as unacceptable, gave the order at a hastily arranged meeting with cabinet ministers to discuss and review the issue of communication costs and high phone bills, amid a social media storm over the disclosure by RGR of the unusually high bill for AUDLEY. For his part, Shaw issued a separate apology. Coming from the meeting, it was acknowledged that there was no standard, clear and consistent policy being applied across government regarding the treatment of communication expenses for ministers and ministers of state. The Office of the Prime Minister said in a statement, "The Prime Minister has therefore directed the Ministry of Finance to review and report on the respective policies for the provision of communication services, including cell phones, operating in various ministries. This is to allow Cabinet to make a comprehensive decision on how communication services and expenses for ministers are treated," the statement said. During a meeting at Parliament, Prime Minister Holness ordered an audit on all cell phone bills of ministers and ministers of state. This is to confirm the accuracy of the information in the public domain. In the interim, the Prime Minister directed that cell phone expenses be capped. The Minister of Finance has been tasked to advise the Prime Minister within a week on the appropriate amount for the cap to be paid by each ministry for the minister's cell phone bills. Any amount exceeding the cap should therefore be the responsibility of the respective ministers unless otherwise approved by the permanent secretary, said the office of the Prime Minister. Sensing public outrage over the high phone bill, cabinet members conceded that the public concerns about the level of some bills are valid, very valid, and committed to ensure that the greatest care is exercised in the discharge of their duties and the use of public resources. A similar firestorm of criticism hit a previous government when some ministers reported unusually high bills, including one for $1 million for a junior minister. The office of the Prime Minister added, in furtherance of their ministerial responsibility to be frugal with the public purse, notwithstanding that most of the costs incurred would have been in pursuit of government business, they have committed to reimburse the government retroactively the difference between actual bills and the capped amount to be determined and imposed. In the meantime, the Minister of Science, Energy and Technology is being mandated to enter into discussion with telecommunications providers to devise standard cell phones and data packages for government ministry, said the office of the Prime Minister. I guess AUDLEY finance the talk not cheap. It is outrageous that the Minister of Finance under the prosperity-led Jamaica Labour Party racked up a phone bill of $8 million within a 1-year period. The minister's excuse, according to Nationwide News, is that he wasn't aware and that the excessive charges were because of mobile data roaming. Many of us at some point experience extraordinary mobile bill charges and learn quickly how to manage our mobile services, especially when traveling to foreign countries. Even if he didn't know, there must have been someone within his circle to warn about the high cost of roaming for voice and data services and advise on the use of Wi-Fi and other options to lower costs. A few years ago, Junior Minister Arnold Brown in the Simpson Mill administration racked up charges of more than $1 million. There was national outrage, especially from the opposition. The opposition spokesman at the time, Dr. Andrew Wheatley, expressed alarm over these charges, saying it was another example of poor governance and misplaced priorities of the Simpson Miller administration, despite the availability of modern communication platforms and services. We are fortunate to have the Access to Information Act, which must be used to force politicians to be more accountable and responsible. How can $8 million in phone charges not be spotted in a review of government finances and expenditures? Brilliant question. You see the Jamaica political divide, a 6.5 dozen and the other. In opposition, everybody is all talk. We're going to do this, we're going to do this different, we're going to be different, we're going to get rid of corruption. And as soon as them become government, are the same thing and even worse. No peeps, it would take me what? 3.5 to 4 years to work $8.34 million as a teacher in Jamaica. And this hombre was said him responsible for the country's finances racked up a cell phone bill of $8.34 million. I sell him a sell credit. Alright, what am I do? Send credit go give girl them. Yo, you look like a boss car level. May I tell you, peeps, it don't look good. And many other bills are exorbitant. Many other bills are excessive. So it's not just AUDLEY's bill. And yet we talk about austerity. We talk about being fiscally disciplined and responsible. And the person who is spearheading that program and initiative is the one who is now being shown to be the most negligent and irresponsible. As Jamaicans, we need to hold our elected representatives accountable. It is full money they must spend. Is our money I paid a $8.34 million phone bill and the rest $1 million phone bill them. Hard working taxpayers. And some of them politicians are not even pay them taxes. You only know when the next party become government. You understand me? I say we need to hold them accountable. Mr. Shah, you know, look good. You understand? And there's no excuses for roaming and this and that, and there's WhatsApp. There's so many other apps that you can use to communicate. Yes, we know that some government business has to be done via certain protocol, but cell phone bill $8 million for 1 year, that rang up, bad up. You understand what I say? So we need to get that sorted out ASAP. So the Prime Minister has ordered an audit in the cell phone bills of ministers, and he has proposed and suggested that a cap will be in place for all cell phone bills for ministers, and whosoever would have exceeded the capped amount will have to pay for it retroactively. You understand? I mean, they should have been in place a long time. Ardisha is saying that was in place the last time the JLP was in government, but it was removed by the People's National Party. If that was the case, then that was a wrong move by the PNP, and that's a part of the reason why we can't go forward as a country. Anything that is good for the country that is in place by one administration is completely removed by another. Why? Me not understand it. So we can't go forward. It's like you run on a spot. You understand? You not achieve nothing because I know we implement it, whether it's good or not. We will get rid of it because I know we implement it. Garbage, nonsense. You understand what I say? It can't work out. 8.34 million Jamaican dollars. You know how much Jamaican would then take just $100 or $1,000 out of that now for buy something to eat? Come on, Mr. Shaw, you're wrong up. I'm out. Thank you for watching the video. Drop a like and a comment down below, and consider subscribing if you haven't done so as yet. Until next time, walk good.